Hello and welcome back to the Variant Geek Podcast, brought to you by Dungeons and Decoctions. I'm Brennan.
I'm Zach.
And this is Jason.
And today we will be talking about horror. Anyway.
Spoopy.
Why are we doing that?
Because it's spoopy season. It's October.
3 spoopy, 5 me.
6 spoopy, 7 skeleton. But before that, we have some news.
Yeah, a lot has happened in our last episode.
Over in Otaku Land with the Weeaboo report, we have Zachary Betzler.
Thanks. Thanks, Brenna.
It's a term of endearment now.
Anime fans are eating good right now. Bleach just came back after a 10.5-year hiatus.
Why are anime fans eating Bleach? This sounds like the Tide Pods all over again.
Yes. But it was an amazing first episode. They did some things that didn't actually happen in the manga, but it worked.
That's Sasibaka.
It was really good. Music was really good. And animation quality is like cinema level. Chainsaw Man came out. I personally really enjoyed the first episode. The music's great. I love the characters. It's one of the first times I've read a manga before watching the show. And so I'm really excited to see this get animated. And Brendan actually watched the first episode too.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I mean, I like the characters so far. They funny, haha.
The jury's still out?
Homie's whole quest is to have girlfriend, and it made me laugh. Do you want to talk about your perspective on the animation of Chainsaw Man and why it's special before I do?
Yeah, Mappa, which is the studio behind it, they're really popular right now. They ended up using a lot of CGI, at least for like what Chainsaw Man looks like and stuff like that, which I'm okay with. Especially if it's done right, which I think it was, and I think it transitioned well enough. But CGI is something that's kind of hard to pull off in anime.
Yes.
We saw it in Berserk, those 3 movies, that the CGI, and especially the 2 seasons, I think that came out in 2016, 2017, it just wasn't very good because the CGI it
fell
looked
flat.
Rushed, and it just fell flat, and it didn't meld in very well. And I truly think Chainsaw Man's actually pulling off the CGI pretty well.
And I don't disagree with that. Zach and I talked about this already. Personal preference, I don't love the way it looks. The transitions are goofy to me. But that being said, I can say
understand
how well it looks comparing it to things like Berserk, which I have also seen. I'm becoming a more educated weeb. Anyway. I like it a lot more than the way Berserk looks with the CG, but for me, it ain't it. But it doesn't distract from the show for me.
Yeah.
It does in the opening. I don't know why. It does in the opening. The opening, I'm like, what am I watching? I don't like it. Like, I like it, but I don't like it. But the show itself, I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Blue Lock, which is a soccer kind of battle royale. I've explained episodes.
You were talking to me about it.
Yeah, I was really excited for it. And when I went to go watch it immediately when it dropped, Crunchyroll kind of forgot to subtitle it.
Instant gratification, great. Zachary. You just gotta let it happen.
Did they forget, or were they just like uploading?
I think they just straight up forgot because it wasn't subtitled.
Somebody dropped the ball. Somebody dropped the ball.
But then you said like 20 minutes later it was up. So did they subbed it in 20 minutes?
Yeah, they just like, oh crap, we submitted the wrong file.
Oh, I thought it was they ran quickly to the just get Kenny the intern.
Get to the keys.
But yeah, it was really good. Excited for becoming a really cool take on it on the sports anime. Chainsaw Man I also saw was join the club for one of the few shows to crash Crunchyroll.
What are some other ones?
It is also on Hulu. Mob Psycho 100 is having its final season. Spy Family is continuing season 1 with Core 2. There's a anime about this kid who's just a normal high schooler. I think it's called Shinobi no Ito. And he's basically he's a normal high schooler, and then he finds out that he's actually the heir to assume become the leader of a ninja clan, and he needs to save that clan. It's an anime only, so the first 2 episodes were kind of interesting, so curious to see where that goes. But yeah, anime fans are eating really good right now. Now back to Overwatch, which is dead.
Hey! Didn't let me introduce it. Our next piece of news on this segment is Overwatch 2.
Is dead.
Speaking of horror stories,
God. Dude, here's the thing. I am one of the most staunch defenders of Blizzard IPs. Notice how I didn't say Blizzard because
we don't want to get canceled.
They be doing too much problems. Anyway,
say the least.
I will cry home to I don't know, sing till the cows come home about how wonderful their IPs are usually. But for some freaking reason, they've been going up, and then Diablo Immortal happened and everything crapped out, and that was the beginning of the end where everything became money grubby and disgusting and pay to win, and it pissed me off. But then they kind of made it better because Wrath of the Lich King Classic came out. It was bussin'. It's perfect almost, and people are loving it, and it's fantastic. And then Overwatch 2 happened.
And what do you think about Overwatch 2?
It doesn't work.
I think the game's fun when I can play a game.
Yeah, like
it's just Overwatch. It's just an update to Overwatch. It's
100%. Like,
do you know what game is the best?
Not Apex.
Solitaire.
Never fails.
Never fails.
It took a week basically for me to even be able to play the game, like a few games.
Yeah.
And even still, we tried playing it last night, and Brendan kept getting kicked
mid-game.
So the servers still aren't working. Like they've shut down the servers to do maintenance on them, and they only made things worse.
Bro, it's starting to feel like that ex-girlfriend that you keep getting back with, and then you break up and you're like, I'm never doing that again, but you keep coming back.
Then they hit too close to home. Anyway.
That's what this game is for me, though, because it initially, in the initial launch, I was so excited. I was like, yay, Overwatch 2. I installed it, and it wouldn't let me play it. And it was like, this is the trial. And I'm like, what do you mean it's a trial?
This ain't no trial.
And what was that, 3-4 days before I was able to actually download the correct game even?
Yeah, something like that. And even then.
And then I would get in, I'd start a game.
Get an achievo.
I do anything and get an achievement because especially like competitive games, like the first, I'd say week you play it, you get a lot of achievements because there's a lot of like gimme achievements and trophies. I get an achievement, get disconnected, and have to wait through 10,000 people again.
Yep.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not playing this. I leave another day or two, come back. Hey, it's working. Awesome. This is so fun. But then the account merges happened, and I lost all of my cosmetics from Overwatch 1. And I said, bruh, I'm not playing this ever again. And then they fixed it, and I come back. I have all my stuff. It's awesome, but I can't play a game without getting disconnected. I want it to be good so bad. I got over the fact, not got over it, I just put it under the rug. There's no campaign, like they said there would be. There's like close to nothing that they promised. But I was like, you know what? It's going to revive Overwatch, and I'm going to play it with my boys, and it's going to be fun.
Nope.
And that has yet to have really happened. And it's really frustrating because even when we were getting our hoo-has pushed in, when we were playing with me as was I tank and you were DPS? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was. And healers weren't healing at all. And I was like, you know what? This is still fun because I'm playing this game with my buddy and we're having some laughs and it's good. And then I crash out at round.
Yeah. But yeah, so Overwatch is a mess right now. One of the worst launches I've seen of a game. And last thing in the news, TwitchCon happened and their foam pit claimed bodies
and lawsuits.
Like multiple people, like one Adriana, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Broke her back in 2 places.
Actually,
like legitimately, like you wouldn't expect that from jumping in a foam pit.
Well, that was the thing. The only reason they're about to catch lawsuits
is because of the foam pit.
Well, because they were telling people to jump into it. Like they're like, hey, XYZ creator, jump into this. It'll be like funny haha and people will like it and it'll be content. But then the pit wasn't deep in foam. It was not deep at all. And so people are like, wee, and then they break stuff. And they probably, honestly, if people were doing it on their own fruition without being told to jump and being told it was safe to jump, they'd probably be fine. Because if they hadn't, but not necessarily fine, but they dug themselves a very, very deep pile of doo-doo by going, do it!
Do it! Do a flip!
Do it!
But, yeah.
That poor girl, though.
Yeah. I already had her back broken on camera before.
Oh.
I don't feel comfortable being part of this company anymore.
I feel like that was a good one.
That's like a Chris Pratt level with Kim Kardashian. If
Yeah.
you don't want to, if those
That's
of you
a good
know
one.
what we're
That's a good
talking
one. That
about,
should have stayed in the show.
yes, that should have. But
I guess on to the draft.
we're
No.
giraffes.
I'm flat-footed and got bat knees. Don't take me to the risky. I don't want
Don't take me.
I'm not ready.
So today we're going to be drafting Zambino Gambinos. And what I mean by that, it doesn't have to be just your traditional, the dead have risen Zambinos, but it can be things like the xenomorphs in The Dead Rising, or the bioengineered Zambinos from Resident Evil, and so on and so forth. So, Ye-san-san with the first pick, if you will.
Alrighty, I will say Black Ops Kino der Toten, because that is just iconic memories for me, like watching and playing, just running the R trains. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word that I'm thinking.
No, you're not.
And just enjoying that. And I remember playing it on the first Black Ops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So many thousand years ago.
Yeah.
Feel that.
With my first pick, I think I'm going to take Dead Space 2.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't take Dead Space from him, Jason.
I was going
So
to,
since we're only doing 3, let's keep it in series.
Yeah.
So one game equals a series.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll take Dead Space. One of the very few. I think I mentioned it before. One of the very few games that is actually like, especially when I played it when I was younger, that scared me so much I had to put the controller down.
Mm-hmm.
Man said, "This ain't it, Chief."
It really wasn't.
But that's kind of a cool idea with a game.
Brennan, what would you say your first pick is?
So I have my 3 in mind already, and if you guys take any of the rest of them, I'm gonna scream.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the only reason I want to take this one first is because I know the both of you probably have it somewhere in your list, and I'm gonna take the Resident Evil series.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I was going to let you take the Resident Evil series. I was going to be nice.
For me specifically, Resident Evil 3.
Okay.
That was what Dead Space is for Zachary is what Resident Evil 3 was for me.
Yeah.
Because I was allowed my hands on it way too early. I was a wee lad of like 5 or 6.
Oh no! Oh no!
And the moment Nemesis went stars, I was like, "Oh God!
Oh dear Jesus!"
I did not want to be there no more. But yeah, there's my first pick.
All right, Jason, with your second pick in the 2022 Zambino game draft.
Okay, I'm going to be very, very, very interesting and
Don't you
go
do
with.
it.
I'm going to Plants vs Zombies.
No, that was my next pick, bro. I thought it was safe because it's so obscure nowadays.
It's so very obscure, but I remember playing it a lot. It reminds me that game and the Balloons Tower Defense.
Yeah, dude.
Were like a lot of the games that I played like on the computer at home.
So good, bro.
At night. Oh yes.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I was not going to take it, somebody else was going to, and I needed to have it.
That's how you just ruined my entire list.
Oof.
I'm sorry, buddy. You'll
That's
get
such
better.
a good game, bro.
Yeah.
I have a story about that game real quick.
Do it. Do the story.
Is that the one where Brody overwrote?
No, God, Brody overwrote my save file of like 50 hours. There's the short version of that one. That one hurt. But I remember there was one day I walk out in the living room. I was like 12 or 13. We were in our apartment. And I walk out and I scared my mom because she was sitting on the family computer playing her secret Plants vs. Zombies file. And I love that.
I love your mom.
Yeah.
I love your mom.
I do too. She's pretty awesome. Little
I would hope you'd love your mom.
Anyway, Zachary.
You know, there are a few. I almost want to go after one just to potentially steal it from you, Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to go with the Dead Rising franchise.
Piece of shit.
especially Dead Rising 2, I think was the best.
You've never even played Dead Rising through to its completion.
But the psychos are kind of fun. There's some really ridiculous ones. Just being able to just run around, dress. I think it's what's his name? I don't remember. Is it Frank in the second one?
In 2, actually, it might not be.
I don't remember. And then like the multiplayer mode was actually kind of fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. You could dress them up in like maid outfits or ridiculous outfits.
Zachary,
I like
Zachary.
Turn him into Mega Man. Shoot people with the Mega Blaster or chop them with katanas. I never really actually paid attention to the story much.
Bro, I hate you, and you picked it.
But
it's Chuck Green, isn't it?
Chuck, that's it.
The second one's Chuck. He's the motocross guy.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my second pick is the Dead Rising franchise. Brennan?
Okay, well, Zach's a piece of garbage. Because he could have just taken The Last of Us.
I could have.
Because he's the only one here who's played that friggin' game.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he had to take a game that I wanted. So, my second pick, I'm going to take the Left 4 Dead series.
Yeah, that was the other one I was tossing up.
Dang it.
Yeah, you could have had it, Jason, but someone had to take Dead Rising.
I know.
But Left 4 Dead's a good one.
I don't need to say much about it. I mean, it's one of those games I keep going back to every now and then.
Yeah.
Especially once I, had access to a gaming PC and could mod it and break the game. Loved it.
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog Hunter is going, oh, and just jumping on my back. Hilarious.
Or having the tanks be Shrek.
Yeah. Or Thomas.
Yeah. Back 4 Blood wishes it was Left 4 Dead.
So badly, bro. It's not even funny. But yeah, I think my favorite mod I've ever installed with Left 4 Dead 2 was turning all the common infected into the chum bucket bikini bottom citizens.
Oh.
And instead of going all the sounds they make, they're just going, all hail plankton, while they're chasing you, and every now and then you just hear my leg when you
I love that.
So good. Anyway, Jason.
Oh Lord. I will say, because I am just a basic B, I'll say the Back 4 Blood.
Really?
Series. Because I've watched people play it, but I've actually never played it.
Did you say series?
Or not series. Like, the Back 4 Blood video game. Isn't
like
it? Yeah, I've watched people play that.
Interesting pick.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. So with my last pick, there's a lot I'm tossing up between. I could go with Undead Nightmare from Red Dead Redemption.
Do it, you won't.
I could go with Dying Light.
Do it, you won't.
Guys. I could go with
oh my God, pick
Days to Die.
But
you literally, whenever I mention playing 7 Days to Die, you're like, the game looks like crap.
Am I wrong?
I enjoy it. It's fun.
Well,
I'm not a video game elitist like you.
Yeah, Zach.
I would. Well, speaking of that, I will go with probably one of the worster games on the list. But I had a lot of fun playing it with my friend back when I was in middle school. Dead Island.
This man said worster.
But Dead Island, especially near the end, that was one of the funnest, and it's just most I've laughed while playing a game. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, Dead Island. Brennan?
Man, here's my thing. I'm tossing up between several.
Mm-hmm.
But do I say Minecraft?
I wouldn't say zombies are a main.
Hey man, every night.
See, I was fighting and I did not say Minecraft.
No, but I think for seriousness, I think I'm going to take State of Decay.
Okay.
Specifically 2.
Fair enough.
Okay. They're fun. I think they're underrated. Not unnecessarily underrated. I think they just need a revamp somehow. But yeah, anyway, should we get on with the episode, I guess?
Yeah, I suppose after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes in, that
nah,
might be something to get into.
Spooky.
Spoopy,
Spooky
scary
game.
skeletons.
Okay, so to start off, I think it's kind of ironic that just today, one of my students was talking to me about, and I don't remember the name of the game. I don't know if it's called Plague. No, what is it? The main bad guy is Huggy Wuggy.
Oh my god, why can't I think of it right now?
Poppy Playtime.
That's it.
And we talked about and watched videos about Poppy Playtime today. And she told me all about the lore, and we watched Markiplier playing the first game or first chapter of Poppy's Playtime. And I just think it was ironic that we're talking about horror games today, and that is a horror game. That is a and it's very Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh, you want to go, Brandon?
Well, I was just gonna say one of the first I know life to horror game was actually Outlast.
Okay.
For me. It's one of my it's like one of my favorite tales of video games because it's looking at the just peak of that game, and then you look at the failure that is the sequel.
Yeah.
It's so sad because I remember playing Outlast. My friend Christian and I, Christian, if you're still listening, no, I've never forgiven you. No, I'm kidding. But we both were playing that in tandem in an Xbox party, and we're finishing this game today, and I did, and it was scary. I started playing it at noon, and at 4 a.m, I was like, "What's that? What's that?" When I'm going out to get water. But great game, great game. The second one was garbage, and it made me sad. Didn't feel nearly as scary.
I wanted to talk about two of the titans in horror because we had one when we were growing up, and then the new generation, the younger generation, has one. When we were growing up, it was Slenderman. As dumb of a concept as it was, because it was based off the creepypasta. But it was it was kind of legitimately scary. It had those jump scares, and it spawned so many spin-offs.
It's so not scary, bro. but
it was scary when I was 12 in 6th grade or however old I
imagine being one of the middle schoolers that was scared of Slenderman. Couldn't be me.
It was you.
No, I was always one of those kids. My buddies and I would play it. We'd be like, we gotta be like the YouTubers that are super famous and act more scared than we actually are. So we'd fall out of chairs and break crap.
You seem like the type.
Listen here, man. At least no. But did you guys ever deal with the "Give Me $20" mod with Slenderman?
No.
Oh my god!
I guess he asks for $20
instead of the while he's getting closer. You just slowly hear, "Give me $20. Give me $20. Give me $20. Give me $20." And it's just it was almost scarier than the actual game because just how accurate the placing was for the volume. You're like, "Oh my god!" But, oh god, what memories of that stupid, so very not good game.
I enjoyed it, and now the new generation, the younger folk. Y'all have them Five Nights at Freddy's.
That kind of started with us, though.
I mean, kind of, but it was definitely more popular with the younger kids.
But it started with us. But we didn't become furries because of it. Unlike these kids these days.
Cap.
Look, man,
it's definitely the new Slenderman. That new kind of just whack out craze, social phenomenon.
Yes. Dude, I'd say it's even more so. I mean, how many freaking games do they have now?
A lot.
A lot. And there's even different technically knockoff games. They have so many knockoffs.
And there's talk of they're gonna open a restaurant.
They have one. It's called Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese. The Grandpappies on YouTube with Amnesia. That's what made a lot of them famous to start, was Amnesia.
Yeah, man. Screaming at Barrels. I remember that.
Oh,
that was just your regular Tuesday
name? Stefano. It was Stefano.
Zach, what was that game? And this is 2 years ago that you were playing. You have to get out of a maze, and you kept getting chased.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I don't remember because I was just playing random games.
Was it during our 18-hour stream?
Yeah, I think
it was during a really late night stream that I was playing a bunch of random things. I don't remember what that was. Let us know in the comments if you remember. It's a free game on Steam.
God, that's gonna bother me because I can see it.
Yeah, so can I. I'm also looking at a list of horror games on Google. You want to know what pops up?
Skyrim.
Roblox.
Roblox.
Dude, have you seen the Community? Terrifying.
Yeah. I would say one of the more interesting ones, because they're starting to come out a bit more of the more story-centered ones, like Until Dawn, which actually had a surprising amount of like big-time actors in it, like Defoe and Remy Malek.
This is super late, but I'm gonna actually replace my number 3 pick
With
The Walking Dead Telltale.
Not allowed.
That's fair.
I guess I'll allow it.
All right, cool. Anyway,
Bring in the
whole
dancing
time
lobsters.
I'm like, I have an obscure one in my back pocket that, not obscure, but one that I knew you guys weren't gonna say.
What?
Well, that.
Oh.
Like, I couldn't remember.
I definitely thought about it. Like, it crossed my mind for a second.
It started that whole craze of Telltale. So
yeah, like a horror game I want to see a new one of at some point is Silent Hill, because we're getting of like Resident Evil, which was basically its main competitor.
yeah,
We haven't gotten a new Silent Hill in a long time. We almost did, which is where PT comes from, because there's a playable teaser for Silent Hills, but then that fell to crap.
see, I'm really scared that if they continue Silent Hill, we're gonna get, Mommy Domitress Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, with like the nurses, and I don't want to be here for that.
I feel like that already exists.
Or someone's gonna make like a mommy pyramid head or something.
Brennan, Rule 34 exists for a reason.
I don't know what that is. Can you explain for our viewers what you visit and understand?
Oh yes, would everybody like to know the definition of Rule 34?
You know what?
No.
It's fine. We know what you are. Exactly.
Everybody who's listening, go to Google and just type in Rule 34 Silent Hill.
And just remember, if you do that, you too can be like Zachary Bessler.
Yeah, you can be well informed. They'll give you all. It's nothing bad. It'll just give you a whole synopsis of Resident Evil or Silent Hill.
It's one of those games.
Yo, you guys keep talking. I gotta check on something. There's a thump outside of my front porch. So.
I bet you it's something spooky. Like
no, it's probably definitely not businessman of the eve across the street.
I'll be
back.
Gentleman of repute.
Did you ever watch anything on Doki Doki Literature Club? Jason?
I know what it is about, but you should talk about it, because I know like at the end you're supposed to like delete files from the game.
Yeah. So like when I first watched it, watched somebody play it, I thought it was like this lovey-dovey whatever, and I was only watching it because I really liked the YouTuber at the time. Don't anymore. Regardless.
Yeah.
Then out of nowhere, if you don't like hook up with one of the characters, she just hangs herself.
Yeah.
And then the next character just cuts her wrists. Like it's all about like suicide, and it's real like actually like it just comes out of the blue.
Yeah, it is.
And I was
very
not expecting.
Adult.
Oh yeah, you don't expect a game that looks like that and called Doki Doki Literature Club to be that kind of like dark, I guess.
It's a very adult theme. It's very adult in nature. But
yeah,
the ending, isn't it like if you don't, there's like different endings, but it's like if you don't delete it, like she falls in love with you as the like person playing the game.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know, but
so like, what is it exactly you look for in a horror? Like, because like I get scared a lot more from horror games than I do from horror movies. Just because you're more immersed.
See, I like story. I'm a very big story person, but I also like, I don't know, I haven't ever really wanted to play horror games because I'm the other way. I like horror movies more than horror games.
Oh yeah, but they just don't scare me.
Yeah.
Like I'll jump to the occasional jump scare every now and then, but usually like especially with my mom, like the amount of horror movies I've seen, you just kind of pick up the telltales of when when a jump scare is coming.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I just It depends on the type and like the way the game is played. If it's very if it's a shooter game, or if it's third person, if it's first person. But yeah, I'm a very story driven, or like wanting to solve puzzles instead of just hacking and slashing.
Okay. So, like,
But
do you think you'll enjoy, or like, do you think you'll play Scorn when it comes out this week?
you say
'Cause
that, and I'm like,
it's
I've kept seeing it, and I'm
it's
like, I should
horror.
download it.
It's like a horror puzzle-esque game. It's just
Yeah,
very body
icky.
horror.
It's just icky. It looks,
If you had a David Cronenberg video game.
yeah. So I just see, because I remember Brennan talking about it and me going, maybe, and that was like 2 years ago. I remember him talking about it because it was right
Oh
when
yeah.
it was like right when they announced it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's available in about a day and a half.
Yeah, it's
So
available on Friday
I
the
was gonna say
14th.
because so we know Friday the 14th.
Oh wait.
But yeah, I don't. I'm just a more like I'm a very story and like puzzle driven person.
That's
So
fair.
I just don't like
So like,
games that are just
do you like
fight
the
and fight and fight.
occasional like you have a gun with you or you have to manage like old Resident Evil, or I guess
Um,
Resident Evil 2, because you have to like manage your ammo, so you
yeah.
can fight people, you have the ability to, but it's not always like
I
the
was gonna
best
say
option.
you'll run out of ammo quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that. See, and I remember playing one of the first Resident Evils, if not the first one, so many years ago.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I just never kept up on it. And like Brennan, like, was it Resident Evil 7 that he was playing? Or was it
uh
6?
when
Like about a year ago, where like he was having issues with it, and then he really enjoyed the story of it.
I think it might have been the 3 remake.
Oh yes, it was. It was the 3 remake, and I just remember him talking about it. I'm like, that sounds interesting. I'm interested, but
Yeah.
I was never a huge like. I just never got into it like
Yeah.
he did, and so I have less of a nostalgia
Yeah. And
aspect with
like,
it. And that's what you talked about with Overwatch, nostalgia. And I'm like, I don't
yeah.
have a nostalgia drive to want to play Overwatch.
Yeah, like it, especially with like new players, like a little diving out and diving whatever. It's just like it's not that friendly to new players right now because there's just so much you have to do in order to like. Somebody calculated it out that in order to get every skin for one character, you will have to spend, I think it's like 800 hours or something like that. And, okay,
Yeah.
I don't think it's that much. Or
Oh, what
150
now?
in order to get all the skins for one character in Overwatch.
That's my favorite horror game.
Yeah.
There was
servers are a real horror story right now.
yeah there there was a gentle shift we were talking.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but it's just not user friendly.
Did you already talk about the math to get one legendary skin?
Oh
No.
yeah, because how many hours is it that you have to play, like 8 weeks or something like that, right?
8 months.
That's right, 8 months, not 8 weeks.
Because you can get 60 of their currency a week if you grind. I got 30, I think. Yeah. So you can get 60 at max, which it's what, 1900 for a skin?
Something like that.
So yeah, that's just shy of 32 weeks.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's like 7.9 months.
But like doing a whole slide back to horror. I asked Jason, like, is like he may or may not play it. But what are your opinions about Scorn that comes out on Friday? Like, are you gonna play it day one, or?
I'm gonna play it. Body horror is not my thing, but I'm gonna give it a chance because to an extent, I mean, if it freaks me out, it did its job, I guess.
Yeah, and I obviously both of you know everybody who knows me knows I actually really like body horror.
You nah.
We know you have a problem.
especially because of like Junji Ito, who's a phenomenal horror manga writer.
Cronenberg-esque? Nah. See, I absolutely hate it.
I'm not actually a huge fan of Cronenberg, to be quite honest.
I absolutely hated.
I play Slime Rancher.
Woo, me too. No, that book that you were reading.
Oh, Uzumaki.
That was not the tweet, my brother. That was not the tweet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Spiral.
There's
Spiral.
3 other horror games I'm really looking forward to.
The
Callisto Protocol, which looks like it could be really fun.
It looks like Dead Space, but better because Dead Space does.
Yeah, exactly. The Dead Space remake and the Resident Evil 4 remake. Because I'm watching somebody right now, Tolomeo, play Resident Evil 4 because he's just playing through all the Resident Evil games because he never has. And he was playing Resident Evil 4, and it just looks like cancer with the how much you have to like turn over the shoulder and aim.
The camera controls of Resident Evil 4 made men of boys.
Like when it came out, that just no thank you. But is there anything else y'all wanna add to the horror game?
Alien Isolation's bussin' if you haven't already.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
How about Among Us? Walt.
All right, so with that,
you're acting sus. Walter,
you're being a sussy baka.
This looks like there's an imposter among us. Walt.
Which one of us is the sus?
You are sus. You are cheat.
You are cheat.
You are cheat. But yeah, man. I mean, sorry I had to step out and deal with some shenanigans in the hood.
Ay caramba.
But I don't know. I mean, I kind of lost my flow since I had to step out. But
that's okay.
Horror game fun. They more fun when you can play with people.
Yes, that's the big thing.
Like there's actually a few like decent like multiplayer horror games.
Phasmophobia was a good one.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight's a popular one.
I just couldn't get into it, man.
Yeah, neither could I. Phasmophobia is another big one.
So the big takeaway from this is you should have friends, and if you don't have friends, sorry.
Sorry. If you don't have friends, make sure to come to Dungeons and Decoctions and make friends.
I'll be your friend.
So when is this wonderful place opening?
Sometime in the near future.
Sometime in the next like 2 years, 2-3 years.
You know, we keep saying that, and we keep saying near future, but like, where my job at?
Yo, you know, Sam.
Right there it is. Don't you worry.
Not me scrolling and seeing shocking proof Elvis is still alive.
That's scary.
What was the proof? Was it because he looked so much like Austin Butler?
Bro, it's some old guy with laugh lines that looks semi-similar.
Yeah, that's Elvis.
That sounds like Austin Butler in the future.
What?
Please tell me you get that reference.
I do. In other news...
I do. In other news,
Spider-Man versus Spider-Man, the imposter meme is a Funko now.
In bigger news,
damn,
Spider-Man v Spider-Man is a Funko.
Dang, that's crazy.
It's a crazy.
But anyway, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Variant Geek Podcast through the Dungeons and Decoctions place.
Make sure you guys check out Shepherd6 on Twitch. Bustin' streamer.
Now, if you want to watch a streamer that actually, you know, isn't on the spectrum in a bad way, ForestLcast014.
Wow. Okay.
I never said which spectrum. It's the weed spectrum. It's scary.
There are some
nothing but tails and ears out there on this man's end.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
So anyway, bye-bye now.
Adios.